Well, good afternoon. Just wanted to share a quick thought with you from some of our daily Bible reading out of the book of Deuteronomy. I'm going to read out of Deuteronomy chapter 8, and I'm going to begin in verse 2. Scripture says, "You shall remember the whole way that the Lord your God has led you these 40 years in the wilderness, that he might humble you, testing you to know what was in your heart, whether you would keep his commandments or not. And he humbled you and let you hunger and fed you with manna, which you did not know, nor did your fathers know, that he might make you know that man does not live by bread alone, but man lives by every word that comes from the mouth of the Lord. Your clothing did not wear out on you, and your foot did not swell these 40 years." You know, we live in the greatest country in the world, and we are blessed. God has truly blessed each one of us, even if you don't have as much as your next door neighbor does. We are still tremendously blessed. And a lot of times we like to take the credit for that. We are so quick to take credit for those good things that we have. No matter if it's a home or a car or a great family, whatever, we put the focus on ourselves and say, I've worked hard for this. I deserve this. I'm getting what I've earned. This is all a result of what I've done. So we're very, very quick to take God's glory for those great things that we have. And we're also very quick to put the blame on God when things turn south and don't go the way that we want it to. We've got it backwards. We should be giving God the glory for all things. And then whenever things turn south, we need to be looking at our own life and seeing if there's something that some sin that's in our life that we need to confess. Or maybe it's just things that are just out of our control, but we are so quick to put the blame on God so many times. And so in this passage of Scripture, God speaks with the nation of Israel, and he says that he has humbled them, and he says that twice in these verses. One of the things here it says, he says, he humbled you and let you hunger, and he fed you with manna. Now, can you imagine what it was like to try to come up with food for all of these people? We know from previous reading in Scripture that there were over 600,000 just of the fighting men that were ready for battle. That doesn't include everybody else. So there's a large number of people to try to provide food for every single day. Can you imagine all that Moses had to go through in that? As a matter of fact, he felt like it was just so overwhelming. He would even pray, he says, God, how in the world can I provide food and water for these people? The point of the matter was that he wasn't supposed to be able to provide it. And that's what he's getting at here. The people were so busy looking at themselves and what they felt like they deserved, and they weren't putting their eyes on God. And it says that he humbled them and he let them go hungry for a minute and recognized that there was no possible way that they were going to be able to provide for all of their needs. And so the point of it was to get them to start looking up, to get them to look to the Lord, that he was going to provide for them, that he was going to take care of them, and that they weren't expected to do all of this on their own. But they were to be looking to him, not just living by bread alone, but by every word that he was speaking to them. Now, I think that's something that we should be reminded of. Too often we are so self-centered and focused on just what's best for us. We look to our own hard work and the work of our hands, and all that we have we feel like we've accomplished. Sometimes we just need to humble ourselves, recognize that God has given us so much. We need to start looking up to Him and thanking Him for His blessings. So this afternoon, I want to encourage you to take the time, humble yourself before the Lord, thank Him for all of His blessings, and give Him praise for it. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to speaking with you again.